Will the Tigers stay in first place for the rest of the 2025 season? And talk to me about the AL Central, Ev.
To answer the question right off the bat, yes, I think the Tigers will stay in first place for the rest of the 2025 season. So yes, that means I think the Tigers will win the AL Central for the first time since 2014. Look, I'm always skeptical. I think skepticism is an outstanding tool for critical thinking, as long as it doesn't lead to too much negativity, and that's kind of where I'm at. So while I was skeptical about the Tigers coming into the season, and look, I thought they had the upside to be a good team, but I certainly wasn't banking on them to parlay their 31-11 run last year into a 31-16 record this year. And I can sit here on May 19th and tell you it's real. Like, I was skeptical coming into the season, but now after looking at what they've done, not only last year, but also this year as well, this is real. The Tigers are 31-16 for first place in the AL Central. They're 5 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins, 5.5 games ahead of the Cleveland Guardians, and 5.5 games ahead of the Kansas City Royals. The Tigers are on pace for 106 wins. Do we have any reason to believe that's not going to happen at this point? Because if 100 wins ends up being a reality, which is what this team is on pace for, which is what they've been doing since last August, then this team's going to stay in first place all season and win the division if they're going to get to 100 wins. Like, that is just where this thing is trending. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due, because the Twins, the Guardians, and the Royals, they're playing good baseball. I think Cleveland is going to fall off, but then again, I always say that, and they never fall off. But you have the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. Those teams can freaking pitch. Starting rotation, Royals are 3rd, Tigers are 5th, Twins are 6th in MLB. Bullpen, Twins are 3rd, Tigers are 4th, Royals are 6th in MLB. Again, the Twins and the Royals, they can pitch, and that alone will help them keep up with the Tigers in the AL Central. And from there, it's all about offense. And that's where the big separator is right now, which has been such a big surprise. I don't think anyone thought the Tigers' offense was going to be one of the best offenses in baseball, whereas the Twins are near the middle of the pack and the Royals are near the bottom of the pack. Both those teams do have a lot of potential. Like, the Twins need Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis to stay healthy, while the Royals need to get more out of Vinny Pasquantino and Salvador Perez to go with Bobby Witt Jr. and Michael Garcia. Plus, the Royals also have Jack Caglianone coming. He is the 6th overall pick in the 2024 draft. He just got moved up to AAA after hitting .322 with 9 home runs in 38 games at the AA level. So we can expect to see Cags in the big leagues at some point this season, making him a potential boost to that Royals lineup. But look, like, I don't know, the Royals and the Twins, like, they have enough firepower on offense, and they have enough pitching to compete with the Tigers. Like, the Royals have Bobby Witt Jr., the best position player in the division. The Twins have Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, Royce Lewis. When healthy, that can rival the trio of Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson. So we'll see how it all shakes out, but the AL Central couldn't be in a better place right now. You have 4 teams with more than 25 wins. Only the National League West, with the Dodgers, Padres, Giants, and Diamondbacks, can stay the same. But to get back to the question, I think the Tigers will remain as the leaders in the AL Central for the rest of the season. Mark, we have 115 games remaining. Do you agree or disagree with me on that?
I think I agree 100%. I think the 27-out Tigers have the culture, the mindset, and the players to execute their strategy. I mean, when you look at the players individually, you may not feel that way, but when you look at them as the sum of the parts, the synergy, the culture, it's pretty amazing. I'm looking at the team ERAs for the entire season. 2nd in baseball, KC, 307. 3rd in baseball, Minnesota, 320. 4th in baseball, Detroit Tigers, 321. You start asking yourself, why are these teams winning? That's why. So look at a bullpen like the Twins bullpen. You look at, Griffin Jackson, Duran. Holy smokes, they're really good. Do I think the Twins can keep playing like this if their players stay healthy? And by the way, not to be mean about it, because Byron Buxton is just a dude. What a dude. But when's the last time Byron Buxton stayed healthy? I mean, I think maybe when he was 16 years old. I mean, he hasn't stayed healthy as a major leaguer ever.
I mean, when have any of those guys been healthy, though? I mean, you look at Byron Buxton, Carlos Correa, Royce Lewis. Somebody's always hurt from that group, which is a huge disadvantage of the Twins.
It's awful difficult when your 3 best players are never in the lineup at the same time. and never. I mean, come on, Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis hasn't played over 100 baseball games in the major league in any season he's played in. And Correa, who used to get over 550 at bats almost every year and notoriously, failed physicals about his ankle. It hasn't really been his ankle that's been the problem all these last 3 years. It's weird. I mean, from plantar fasciitis, got concussion protocol this year. And, once Carlos Correa heats up, he just can carry a baseball team all by himself. He's just not consistently healthy anymore. And when you look at the Tigers and you think that they've had such good health and that's been one of their biggest advantages, I think that, people are forgetting the straw that stirred the drink. Parker Meadows has not had an at bat. Matt Vierling, one of their important culture players and a solid right-handed bat, especially when he's hitting down in the lineup, not an at bat this year. So, come on, they signed a $15 million starting pitcher. It's very possible he doesn't throw an inning this year. Come on, the Tigers have had their share of injuries. They just found ways to play over it.